Hey folks, welcome to the Davis Fieldhouse at the campus of Bob Jones University. A little different to start out here. We actually have had a delay in the officials coming to this game. And so we are in the process of actually just allowing both teams a extended informal scrimmage, as it were, until those referees arrive. And so that's what you're seeing on your webcast screen right now. You'll see the scoreboard update and those kinds of things, but again, just a reference point that this is not officially the start of the game, hence why Paine College is still in their practice jerseys at this point as we wait for the officials to arrive. Again, sometimes in the intercollegiate sports world, you'll have different schedules and different things, and sometimes schedule changes and schedule updates don't always get all the way to the officials through the assigners and other things like that. So a little bit of a discrepancy on when the game time was supposed to start. And so hopefully momentarily on either side of the gym there, you'll see those officials come in. I have been told by the coaching staff that they are en route and possibly going to be here within the next 15 or 20 minutes. So hopefully we will get that resolved and underway. But as I said, right now, these two teams just taking advantage of, rather than going back to their respective locker rooms, they're having some fun together of just playing and, again, having kind of an informal scrimmage at this point until the officials get here. And then we will be off and running with this Saturday matchup between Bob Jones University and Paine College. Just giving you some updates in terms of schedule coming up for the Bruins. Of course, the Bruins coming into this one winners of their last three. They had a 13-match winning streak before that was snapped last week at Carolina University, and then they fell again on Saturday. The Bruins have bounced back in a big way, including a big-time region win last night over Tacoma Falls College. And as they just have this game here today against Paine College and then two more in the regular season before they head into the regional tournament, this is the time where you as a team want to be finding your stride, and they appear to be doing that. Bruins at 22-10 overall in this 2024 campaign. Paine College coming into this one 7-6 overall in their 2024 season. The last time these two programs met actually was back in the 2022 campaign. This is the fourth meeting between the Lions and the Bruins have won all three of those previous matchups. Again, if you're just joining us, having a little bit of a delay in the start of this game, even though you see players on the court, as the officials have had a delay in getting here. And so I have been told they are en route and will be here momentarily. But, of course, they have to be able to arrive and then get into their officials' uniforms, get briefed on certain parameters before we start the match, and then they will be in their positions and they will get underway. Johnny Gambit bringing you to the call here. Great to be back in the Davis Fieldhouse. And thank you all for tuning in, for those of you that have tuned in to watch today's game between Paine College and Bob Jones University. As I said, both teams in a delay right now as we wait for the officials to arrive. And again, you'll see the two teams on the court right now, but none of this, even though the scoreboard is still running up and those kinds of things. Just kind of an informal scrimmage right now between the two programs. There actually was talk before of should we just turn this game into a scrimmage because of the delay of the officials coming, and both teams have said that they would really like to play the game, and so the officials are, as was communicated to me, getting here as quickly as possible within the legal limitations of driving and getting here. So as soon as they get here, we will be underway with the fourth meeting between these two programs. And because we have some players with jerseys on and others not having jerseys on, That's why you're not hearing the exact play-by-play for this match, and also because it's right now a scrimmage. But for the Bruins, man, what a season they have had so far at 22-10 overall. Again, as I mentioned before, just a couple of weeks ago, a 13-match winning streak, which at any level is difficult to do. And really, the Bruins have been fed by the 1-2 punch of Hannah Goodwin and Faith Blaylock up front. Those two have been instrumental in the team's success so far this year, and a lot of different contributions from all across the lineup. This is, as you look at the lineup, arguably one of the younger squads that Coach Denny has had in recent years. Just one senior in the lineup this year, and that's Faith Blaylock, and then a good bit of juniors and several sophomores and even freshmen who have had to step right into impact positions this season and have already made that impact so early on in their career. But that's no strange feat when you think about the Bruins volleyball history. Some of the more impact players, even assistant coach Victoria Glaze formerly, was one of those players who came in and kind of right off the bat made it an immediate impact, and now is continuing to make that impact on the bench for the Bruins as one of the assistant coaches. For Paine College, as I said, they come into this one at 7-6 overall, and they have been led by Nadia Betts as she leads the team with 127 kills on the season. As I said before, the Bruins and Lions have met 3 times, with the Bruins winning both matchups in 2022. And the first ever meeting between these two programs is back in the 2021 season, with the Bruins winning in straight sets in that first ever matchup. If you're just joining us here on the webcast, again, to give you an update, we are in a delay right now to get things underway as the officials were delayed in getting to the game today. So even the score that you see on the scoreboard right now is not really an official score, as the two teams are playing an informal scrimmage right now until the referees arrive. So as soon as the officials arrive, I would imagine we'll have a very brief delay to get the officials up to speed. And at that point, we will be underway here between the Lions and the Bruins. But that is why you're seeing a little bit maybe of not as much urgency from either team, as they are trying to get things underway. And once we get to that, we will get we will be able to get set and ready to go. Again, so just stay tuned. Hopefully momentarily. I was told several minutes ago that it probably would be 15 or 20 minutes at least until the officials were able to get here. So we're getting fairly close to that initial timeline, and we'll see if that holds true. Just in terms of expectation. But again, supposed to be a 2 o'clock tip-off this afternoon, has been delayed as the officials are still en route to get here. And I was telling some of the athletic staff prior to this, start of this game, that back when I was with the Bruins in a full-time capacity, I remember one time there was a scheduling miscommunication, and it was one of the biggest basketball games just from an attendance perspective that we had on the year. And I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 people in the building. And we're going around, looking around, and we don't see officials. And so we walked over to the coaches and said, "Hey, have you guys seen the officials?" And so they gave one of the officials a call, and they had written down that they had the game in their schedule as the next night. And we were like, no, we're supposed to start here in about 20 minutes. So thankfully we were able to get some replacement refs very quickly, and ended up starting that one about 15 or 20 minutes late as well. So it does, I say that to say, it does happen in intercollegiate sports more often than you think, especially with the enormity of games and the enormity of sports and teams and leagues and all kinds of things. You have assigners who will pass out assignments to different officials, and then those officials are then sent all across the region in the southeast at all levels. And it's no wonder sometimes wrong dates and wrong times get written down. So I believe that's what the case was here, is just a simple miscommunication of schedule and time. And so hopefully we will be getting those officials here shortly. But that is the reason for our delay right now. If you're just joining us, the score is not really 18-5. Right now, both teams just playing an informal scrimmage until our officials arrive. And once they do that, they will again, as soon as the officials get here, we will have a very brief delay, and then we will be underway officially between these two programs. As I told you before, the Bruins getting to the late stages of the 2024 season. Of course, the Bruins 6-time winners of the NCCA Division II National Championship, and particularly with the impressive run the team went on last year to capture that 6th straight title. There comes a point in any dynasty run like that where people start to wonder how long this dynasty will last. And I think even coming into this year, a lot of people looked at the roster, the younger roster that the Bruins have had, and said, hey, do they have what it takes to be able to go all the way back and win an unprecedented 7th in a row? And, I mean, again, you got to credit Coach Denny, Coach Schlichting, Coach Dunwoody, and others, as they have done such a great job coaching. And as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, so many of these younger players, as you come into collegiate sports, you know, that freshman year oftentimes is a big-time adjustment year, because you're coming from the high school level where maybe you were the best player on your team or one of the best players on your team, and you come to the college level where everybody is so much better. And some of these ladies have had to jump into such key and pivotal roles in the lineup this year, and they have responded well. As I said, 22-10, and I believe according to the last Division II rankings, number 4 or number 3 overall in the national rankings. Again, we will be heading into the South Region Tournament here in the coming weeks. And we'll see if the Bruins can win that 7th in a row, which would be quite the impressive streak, and adding to what has been such a legendary career for head coach Vicki Denny. Again, we don't have the ability to have score graphics and those kinds of things on the broadcast, but I am going to keep mentioning that the score that you're seeing on your screen is not the official score, and what you are seeing is just kind of an informal scrimmage right now between Paine College and Bob Jones University, as we have had a delay in the officials getting here for this game. The official that you see up in the crow's nest there is Victoria Dunwoody, one of the assistant coaches for the Bruins, kind of facilitating this scrimmage right now. And again, once the officials get here, we'll have a very brief pause in the action as the teams reset. We get the scoreboard reset and other things like that. And then we will be underway here for this matchup. Folks, keep in mind, lots going on the Bruins calendar today, as well as coming up in the next couple of weeks. I was just talking to the assistant AD, Caitlin Unruh. And, of course, the cross-country teams were in running today. Volleyball, women's soccer is getting underway against Columbia International. And then later on this afternoon and evening, it's the doubleheader to open the Bruins basketball season, as Columbia College and your BJU Bruins tip off the 2024-25 season. So this is that time of the year where your fall sports are starting to wrap up and head towards the regional tournaments. And nationals are on the horizon, and then you get the winter sports that are starting their preseason and regular season competition. And what a fun time on the Bruins calendar, as all the sports teams, with the exception of spring sports, are essentially in play. Johnny Gabin bringing you the call here as, once again, we are in a little bit of a delay for the start of this volleyball matchup, as the officials are still en route to get here. And last I was told, roughly about 15 or 20 minutes ago, was that it was going to be roughly 15 or 20 minutes. So hopefully we will be getting those officials here soon. And once we do get those officials, we will be resetting things very quickly, and then we will be underway very shortly after that. So again, I am not sure if we are going to see another set of the informal scrimmage or not. At this point, I think you would want to also save legs and save your energy levels and those kinds of things. So we will have to see if we're going to continue on with that or not. But in any case, we will be underway again once we get the official word from the officials who, as I have been told, are en route and hopefully going to be here shortly. Welcome back, folks. Again, if you're just joining us, we are in a little bit of a delay right now as we are waiting for the officials to arrive. And once the officials get here, we will have a brief pause as the teams and the scoreboard and everything gets reset. Once the game is reset, we will then play this matchup between these two programs. But again, just as has been communicated to me, there seemed to have been a discrepancy in terms of the schedule and timing, and so I believe the officials had the wrong time in their book, which, again, if you know anything about intercollegiate scheduling, some of these officials can even come from different states and different portions of the region, so I've not been given that information. I've just been told that the communication was there was a little mishap, and as soon as that mishap was taken care of, the officials were called and came as quickly as possible. So I'm hopeful that it was even potentially somebody here locally, or perhaps in some case just able to get here more quickly. But that's been our delay right now, so the score that you're seeing right now is not the official score, as both of these teams, again, because of the delay in tip-off, have just decided to go ahead and just play kind of an informal scrimmage until the officials get here and they can count this thing officially. At this time of the year, you're, again, not necessarily wanting to lose your groove as a team. And so both teams deciding they want to delay a little bit and be able to get this game in for both of their seasons. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the fourth ever meeting between these two programs, Paine College and Bob Jones University. Paine College out of the Augusta, Georgia area. Very beautiful area down there. Of course, a lot of people know the Masters that's played in Augusta. I've had the opportunity to go down a couple of times to Augusta, and just a beautiful town, beautiful area of Georgia. And that's where Paine College is. And again, this is the fourth ever matchup between these two programs. Bruins have won all three of the previous matchups, but these two teams haven't played against each other since the 2022 season. So been about 2 years since these two programs have played each other. And again, as I said, the Bruins winning all three of those previous matchups and actually sweeping all three of those matchups. And so Paine College looking to keep up their winning ways as they won, snapping a 3-game losing skid on Thursday night. The Bruins coming into this one having won 3 straight. Again, if you've been following the team this season, the Bruins had one stretch where they won 13 in a row, and then they lost back-to-back in a Saturday tri-match, and then came back to win their last 3, including a big-time region win last night against Toccoa Falls College, in which they were able to pull off the sweep 3-0. Again, we don't have the ability to flash this message up on the screen, but if you're joining us, the score that you're seeing right now is, in essence, a fake score. These two teams playing somewhat of an informal scrimmage together until the officials get here. We had a delay in the officials arriving. As it was communicated to me, there was just a discrepancy in what time the game was supposed to start, and the officials had that the game was down at a later time. So again, my communication that I have received is that they are en route, but going to be delayed in getting here. The match was supposed to start at 2 o'clock, and I was told that they were going to arrive hopefully shortly. So I think there's also been some contingencies in place, because in college volleyball in particular, I believe you have to have at minimum 2 officials to be able to count a game. And so for those of you that have followed any kind of college volleyball, you know there's typically 4 officials on a crew. You'll have the 2 officials that are at the net, one that's kind of up in the crow's nest, who's the official official who's in charge, or kind of your crew chief, and then you have the other official that's by the scorer's table, and then 2 officials on either side of the court who serve as line judges. So I think what might be in place, just because of the delay, is I think they're waiting on that official crew chief official to get here, and then once they get those 2 officials in place, they can pull line judges in from other places, either here locally or whatever it might be, just to be able to get the game underway. Because obviously, as you think about schedules and things, Paine College is going to have at least a 2.5, 3-hour drive back to Augusta tonight if they are headed back to Augusta, and so you don't want the delay to be so significant that teams end up getting back late and those kinds of things. So that is our delay right now, and that is why we are not, or I'm not maybe as animated as I usually am in calling these games, is because the things that you're seeing right now are not actually really happening. It's an informal scrimmage. The score is not really 10-9. It is, for all intents and purposes, 0-0. So, again, the Bruins just 3 games remaining on their 2024 season before they head into the regional tournament. They have today and then 2 this coming week. And then we will be headed into the regional tournament. And, of course, you can follow all that information at bjubruins.com. And as I said before, a extremely busy time for Bruins athletics right now. This is the time of the year where you have what we call the crossover season, where you have the fall sports starting to wrap up and getting to their regional tournaments and national tournaments. And, of course, the winter sports, the basketball teams both tipping off their first regular season game today down in Columbia. And, of course, all that information, results, interviews with coaches, and so much more is available at bjubruins.com. Thanks for tuning in today. Again, just a slight delay in the tip-off here in the Davis Fieldhouse as we are waiting for the officials to arrive. A little miscommunication between the officials and, I believe, the assigner for this contest, but sometimes that could be a lot of finger pointing in these types of situations, and perhaps hearing something from a coach or hearing something from an assigner, or they wrote it down wrong, or whatever it might be. So, again, the hope is just that the refs get here in a safe fashion, and then they are able to get here to be able to call this game. Because, again, there was some talk as we knew there was going to be a delay in the start of the contest that do we just call this a scrimmage and not even count it as an official game? But both teams, again, at this point in the season, you're wanting to keep your groove. And, again, even if you're a team that, Paine College, for example, is not wanting to make a trip for several hours only to play a scrimmage. And so you want to make sure that you can get these games counted, as every little bit helps prepare you for your team's postseason tournaments and end-of-season things. I want to remind you as well, next week is senior night on against Pfeiffer University for the Bruins. They'll be honoring Faith Blaylock, who's the lone senior in the squad this year. And as I said before, the Bruins pursuing a unprecedented 7th straight national tournament or title. They won 6 in a row coming into this year, and a lot of people thought, even coming into this year, that, man, what a young lineup that the Bruins have this year. But, man, what a masterful job that the coaching staff has done, and then the Bruins players have all stepped up in such a big way. Even Hannah Goodwin and Faith Blaylock are ones that even in previous seasons have been impact players, but have had to step even into a bigger role this year. And they have done that in such a big way. And you look at even players, like Lois Beto and others who have really had to step into setting roles and other things like that. And just an overall great job that the Bruins have been able to do this year in stringing together, again, 13 straight wins just a couple of weeks ago. And look to be hitting their stride heading into the final stretches of the regular season. Again, still a slight delay. We hope to be underway shortly. And if you're wondering why the delay, I'm actually texting a couple of coaches right now just to see if they have a time update. Again, the two teams playing an informal scrimmage right now. Just awaiting the officials' arrival. And once we see those officials get here, we will have a very brief pause as we get the scoreboard reset. And typically the officials do a very, very quick run through of things with the coaches and players and captains. And then we will be underway right after that. Just providing another update, folks. Again, we are still waiting for the officials to arrive, and they have been delayed a little bit more. So I have been told the expectation is about 2:45. Right now it's about 9 minutes away, according to my watch. So again, if you are just logging in, perhaps expecting to see a result so far, what you're seeing on your screen is an informal scrimmage right now, as we had a delay in the officials arriving. And as I said, once the officials do get here, we will be underway very quickly. But everything that you're seeing right now on your screen, it's not really 23-15. The Bruins don't really already have a set win. This has just been an informal scrimmage between these two programs until our officials arrive, and then we will be underway for the official contest between these two programs. Folks, just giving you an update again here as we are still in a slight delay. Again, if you're just joining the broadcast, the match, I should say, is momentarily going to be getting underway. I've been told the officials should be here by about 2:45, so about 5 minutes away. I mean, again, the original tip-off time was 2 o'clock here at the Davis Fieldhouse, and we have had a delay in the officials arriving. Again, that's all the specifics I have been given, but just in previous athletics experience, that usually just accounts for, again, if you think about all of the different conferences and levels of college volleyball, and then you spread that out over the cross of the Southeast, and then there are multiple assigners, is what they are called, and they have a crew of officials that they in turn will assign games and things to. And it would be again, the hope is that they will be here shortly. But again, there's what I've been told is just there was a miscommunication to the officials, and I think the officials had a different time start. And so again, when you think about some of those officials likely coming from either other states to South Carolina to be able to call this game, and so even an hour discrepancy from a time perspective can be significant in the delay in terms of travel. So again, you're seeing on your screen right now the clock has been reset to 30 minutes in terms of the clock winding down, and that is to give enough buffer for the officials to be able to get here, obviously get changed, get briefed on certain things, and they will start the game very soon after that. So I will keep popping in and giving you updates as I have them, but again, the reason you're not seeing any players on the floor at this point, they had played 2 sets of a kind of an informal scrimmage between the two programs, and so once we get that sorted out, we will be back on the air shortly to start this official game. Because, again, I have been told there is at least one official who's going to be here soon. And basically the way that it will go is that they can start with a certain bare minimum crew of officials. And then once we get the other officials in place after the game has already started, they will just kind of come in and get into position as they arrive. So, again, the hope would be here in the next 10 minutes or so of being able to actually officially start that game. But again, a lot of that is contingent on when that official arrives and gets changed and those kinds of things. So I'm going to turn the microphone off here momentarily, and we'll log back on once we know more. But again, stay with us. The official match of Paine College and Bob Jones University will get underway momentarily. We've had a slight delay, and we look forward to this matchup between the Lions and the Bruins. Stay with us. Folks just chiming in here again. We do have a delay in the start of the match, which was originally supposed to be underway at 2 o'clock. And we have had a miscommunication with the officiating crew. And still don't have an update that they have arrived. But we once we do get those officials in place, both teams will come out of their respective locker rooms and we will be underway. Again, the two teams had come out and played an informal scrimmage, but have since gone back to their locker rooms to be able to take a quick break before playing the official game, which, again, once the officials arrive, we will get them in place and then very quickly get the match underway between Bob Jones University and Paine College, the fourth ever meeting between these two programs. And again, not finger pointing in any direction. Sometimes these things happen in intercollegiate sports. You have a certain communicated expectation, and somebody might have either misheard or misremembered or miswrote down something. And so these delays sometimes happen, and that's partially what we're dealing with right now. Is just simply waiting for the officials to arrive. So once they do come, we will get underway. And again, hopefully that will be before you see that clock under 16 minutes there continuing to wind down. Hopefully that will be before the end of that clock running out. I was told by the coaching staff of the Bruins that that is the expectation, that it's not going to be that long. But again, I'm not sure the communication that has happened since with the officiating crew or not as to when they will be arriving. So once they get here, we will quickly reset the scoreboard and different logistical items to get this match underway, and then we will be underway between the Lions and the Bruins. So that's the update as of right now. For those of you that have tuned in, that's our delay. And once we get that official in place, we will be underway, hopefully, very shortly. But until then, stay with us, and we should be back again with another update here soon. Just giving you a quick update here, folks. Again, we are still waiting for the officiating crew to arrive, and have been told they are hopefully going to be here soon. That's the text messages I keep getting. So as soon as we have those officials in place, you see the Bruins just warming up right now. Again, the original tip-off time was supposed to be 2 o'clock. Miscommunication in the start time to the officiating crew, so they have been notified and are en route, but I'm not sure if they have actually arrived yet or not. As soon as they do arrive, we will be underway very quickly after that once we get the officials in place. That's our update for now. And again, we hope to be underway momentarily, Bruins and Lions. And once we get those officials in place, we will be underway. Just providing another update, folks. You will see on your screen we have one official who has arrived, and I have been told that we are going to be getting underway momentarily, and so we do have that one official in place, and I believe we're going to have some other officials filling in different capacities, so we should be getting underway fairly soon here quickly. Again, we'll provide an update as I have it, but we do have one official who has arrived, and again, we should be able to fill in the other officials as they get here, from what I understand. So we will get underway shortly with that. And again, appreciate all of your patience out there on the webcast. We should be getting underway shortly here between Paine College and Bob Jones University. And then we will treat this as a normal game and a normal webcast and those kinds of things. Again, as soon as we get confirmation that we are going to be getting underway here shortly, hope to be able to jump back on here and give you that information as quickly as possible. Stay tuned. We hopefully will have some real match volleyball here starting shortly. Thank you. Well, welcome to the Davis Fieldhouse on the campus of Bob Jones University. We are finally set to play here at the Davis Fieldhouse as the Bruins and the Lions getting ready to get underway. I believe we are going to have the playing of the national anthem here momentarily. I could be wrong on that. I think we are just going to go ahead and start. Just to, because of the delay that we've had so far. If you're just joining us, I'm Johnny Gammon. I'm bringing you the call here from the Fieldhouse this afternoon. The match was originally supposed to get underway at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and because of a delay in the officiating crew getting here, we do have one official who is in place, who is going to serve as kind of that crew chief position, who's typically up on the stand above the net. And then we have another official who is joined as well, and then we'll have some line judges who will fill in on the ends. But that means that we can play some volleyball, folks. So we're going to get underway here shortly, and I will be giving you the starters as we have them on the court. And as I said several times over the broadcast, if you have been that one or two that have stuck through this entire delay, thanks for staying with us. And for those of you that are coming on to the webcast now, this is why we are finally getting underway here, as we've had the delay in the officials joining us, but they are now in place, and we are now going to play some volleyball. So Bob Jones University coming into this one winning of their last 3 in a row. They had lost 2 before that, and prior to that they had 13 in a row that they had won. Paine College coming into this one at 7-6 overall, looking to increase their winning column as they won their last match. This is the 4th ever meeting between these two programs, as the Bruins have won all 3 previous. And there was a time at which we thought this might even just be a scrimmage for the day because of the delay. But both of these teams saying, hey, look, we've all come out. We've canceled our plans for this Saturday afternoon. Let's make this one count. So appreciate you sticking with us during the delay. We're here to play some volleyball. Let's get it underway. For the Lions of Paine College, they will start things off. And back to serve is Jemiah Allen. And right away, the Bruins are going to get the first point. And we are underway. For the Bruins, it's Haley Prater, Ann Lloyd, Hannah Goodwin, Faith Blaylock, Madison Goldstrom, and Elise Vest are your starters. Good service. Little miscommunication by the Lions this time. Bruins jumping out to a 2-point advantage already. One of the keys during that 13-match win streak was their ability to jump out to that early lead. And then the Bruins have done a great job this season of taking advantage. And that's going to be out of play. Goodwin a little too strong that time. Two to 1 here in the early goings of the first set. Blaylock. Good dig that time to keep it in play. Back over. Goodwin tips it over. Blaylock back across. That one tipped at the net once again. And the Lions will even it up. It's a great job by Najla Betts, as she has led the Lions this year in kills and making the most of the opportunity right there. We're all even at 2-2 here in this opening set. And a good play that time by Allen, as she was able to place it where the Bruins weren't. Lions get their first lead. block at the net once again. 4-2 now. The Lions have responded well in the early goings. Let's see if the Bruins can answer back here. Again, sometimes the delay can give you some funk in your mojo type of a thing where you're kind of out of your rhythm. Then you have to go back and warm up again and come back out and regroup. But a good kill that time by Faith Blaylock. And now it's Ann Lloyd back to serve once again for the Bruins. It's been another key to the Bruins. One thing they do so well is not allowing runs to turn into deep runs. That's something that's been pretty notorious for Vicki Denny coach teams, is the ability that she has to get her players to understand that one bad play anybody's going to make. Two bad plays we can live with. But that's where it's got to stop in terms of the runs. You've got to be able to prevent a team from going on 5, 6, 7, 8-point runs, because that really just takes you out of your game. Bruins doing a good job. That's 3 straight points for them, and they take the 5-4 advantage here in set number 1. As Ann Lloyd back to serve once again. The junior from Moore, South Carolina. I said during the delay, several players really having to step into different roles this year. Ann Lloyd playing that libero position, and another point for the Bruins. Make it 6-4, and make it 4 straight points for BJU. Tipped, and the Lions get the point back. So back and forth in this opening set. 6-5 our score. It's Kennedy Williams back to serve for BJU. Or, excuse me, for Paine. Vest back to Blaylock, and Blaylock with the absolute hammer, but kept alive. Now down the line, and again, couple of great dig plays there for Haley Prater, but unfortunately, the Lions get the point. We're back even at 6. And we're going to have, I believe, a tip there. So back to the Bruins. Subs coming in as Lois Beto getting her first action of the contest. Bruins have a 7-6 lead here in set number 1. Blocked at the net. Beto serving up far side, and a great job that time by Stephanie Burke. Awkward angle, but she was able to get it across. Bruins extend their lead, 8-6. Went into the net. Bruins another point. Beto serves far side. Lions trying to respond. Blocked to the net initially. That's going to be out of play. And it will go to the Lions. 9-7 here in set number 1. Again, if you're just joining us, we had a pretty significant delay as the officiating crew was there was miscommunication with the crew as to the start time, so kind of had to pull some emergency strings to get, from what I understand, different officials to get here. And so that's why you're seeing some different officials in for this matchup. There was a moment at which both teams thought about just making this a informal scrimmage, and both wanting to count it to their regular season. So That's where we are right now. Blocked at the net. Another big-time kill that time from Jemiah Allen. And again, the Lions hanging around 10-9, our score. Blocked initially at the net, back across, and a blocked again. Bruins having trouble getting around that blocking attack up front. And not that time. Bethany Estelle able to hammer it down. Estelle back across. Beto serving it up for Goodwin, and back in the back corner is able to get it down. Bruins increasing their lead 12-9. And another point for the Bruins, 13-9 now. Goodwin trying to put it down and commits the violation, so it'll go point to the Lions. This has been a back and forth opening set, 13-10. Is our score. Beto back across. Goodwin able to knock it down. Hannah Goodwin has been the leader for the Bruins this season. And when she gets in position, watch out. (14-10) here in set number one. And it's best to serve for the Bruins. Lloyd back across. Estelle blocked at the net. And Blaylock trying to keep it alive. It'll be a point for the Lions. Again, Bruins in this early set have had some struggles in getting around those blockers up front. And again, just to provide context to the match, we actually just had another official who took over towards the scoring table, so they're trickling in as they have made this delayed arrival, but it's good to have them in place when they can get here. So Estelle trying to go down line, but it's out of play. And actually, this, again, is a case of officiating here, where you had the official who is in the head crew chief spot, as you would say, who's up on the stand, who actually overruled one of the sideline judges. in that particular. And again, typically a lot of these officials will work on the same crew or a very similar crew for a lot of their assignments. So you get used to who's working the sidelines, who's working the score table, who's the head official, who's up in the crow's nest, and different things like that. So they get a good bit of familiarity with one another. And they trust one another on calls and those kinds of things. And so when you have changes to the officiating crew, it can be a little bit of an adjustment as well. This one back and forth. Lions come away with the point. It's 15-13 here in set number 1. And the Bruins 22-10 on the season, looking to win their 4th in a row. Just 2 games remaining after today, including senior night next Thursday night. Make your plans to join us here at the Davis Fieldhouse as the Bruins honor Faith Blaylock, who is the one senior, and she actually gets the point right there for the Bruins. Make it 16-13 here in set number 1. Trying to go back row. Lions keep it alive. Block to the net. Lloyd back over to Blaylock. It'll be a point for the Bruins as a violation on the Lions. And that makes it 17-13. Bruins starting to build a little bit of a gap here as Ian Lloyd back to serve once again for BJU. This one too strong. Make it 18-13 at this point. Blocked at the net. Big time block that time by Madison Goldstrom and Emily Lewis. The lead is up to 6 now as Lloyd back to serve once again. Free ball for the Bruins. Let's see what they can do with it. Lewis. Again blocked at the net by Goldstrom. Lewis trying to go back row with it, kept alive. Vest back across. Look out! Blaylock hammers it down. And the Bruins ahead 20-13 in set 1. Free ball here. And again, right up front, Emily Lewis giving the Bruins an 8-point lead, 21-13 here in the first set. Timeout Lions. As the Bruins have gone on a little bit of a run, they lead 21-13. Chick-fil-A of Taylor's is a proud partner of your BJU Bruins. You can check them out. They are located just a few miles from Bob Jones on Wade Hampton Boulevard. Check them out today or download the Chick-fil-A app to start earning points. And FCI Agency is an insurance broker that provides auto, home, life, and business insurance. You have enough choices to make, so make one that always gets you the best rate. You can check them out online, fcisc.com. (21-13) our score here in set number 1. Bruins in the midst of a run. The Lions trying to stop the bleeding, so they call the timeout, and we'll see how they respond out of the timeout. And Lloyd back to serve, hoping to continue this run for BJU as they hope to take set one here. And that'll be a point for the Lions, so a good point right off the bat. 21-14. Looks like a football score right now. This is volleyball, and again, kind of a crazy day for the two volleyball teams. It's not often you have an over-hour delay to a tip-off. But as I was explaining, some miscommunication between the officials, and both teams were here doing their warm-ups and different things, and there were times where you expect to see officials come out of their locker room at a certain time, and they didn't. And so phone calls started to be made and text messages, and it was very quickly discovered that there was a different time written down for the start of the game. And as someone who's worked in athletics administration for over a decade, that's when the panic starts to set in a little bit, and you start making some emergency phone calls to assigners and to basically anyone you know. And thankfully, we've gotten some officials here, and so that both of these teams can count this one. Back across. Vito keeping it alive. Lloyd back across now to Vest. Or, excuse me, not Vest. It was Burke on that far side. Vito serving it up. Lewis, kind of an off-balance strike that time, and Lions continuing to stay in this one, 22-15 here in the opening set. Back to serve is Kayla Montoya. Vito back across. Blaylock with a monster kill there across the back row. 23-15. Bruins 2 points away from the opening set win. Blaylock, the lone senior on the team this year, back to serve. And that's going to be too strong. Set point for the Bruins, 24-15. Blaylock back to serve once again. Pinkies up, Bruins fans. Blaylock. Lloyd. Beto. Estelle, finish it. Bruins take set one, 25-15. It was really a back and forth set in the early goings. 1 point swings either way. The Bruins used the midway point to pull away and never really looked back. 25-15, the opening set score. We're switching sides. We'll do it again here shortly for set number two. Stay with us. Set number 2 coming up for the Bruins and the Lions as the Bruins take set 1, 25-15. Hey, folks, Johnny Gammon bringing you the call here. Again, a little bit of a weird day for this volleyball matchup. Was supposed to be underway at 2 o'clock this afternoon and had a little delay in the officials getting here. So after officials came, we quickly reset the scoreboard and teams reset their pregame rituals and those kinds of things, and we are underway. In that first set, it was back and forth in the early goings, both teams exchanging the lead by 1 or 2 points, and then the Bruins used a 6 or 7 point run in that first set to build a lead, and the Lions couldn't climb back out of it. So Bruins take set 1, 25-15. Vest back again for the Bruins to begin set 2 here in the Davis Fieldhouse. Sent back, Lloyd. Vest, Blaylock right in the middle. Back come the Lions. Vest, near side to Goldstrom. Kept alive by the Lions. Tip ball on the way. Goldstrom keeps it alive. Now Lloyd back over to Estelle. Trying to go back row with it. And blocked at the net. Good volley between these two teams in the opening point, and the Lions will come away with it after a kill by Najla Betts. Seals coming in for the Lions. And back to serve is Kelsey Williams. Best back outside. Good win, but what a dig that time on the back row to keep it alive. Blocked at the net, but finding its way to the hardwood as Najla Betts back-to-back kills for the Lions. They've got a 2-point advantage here in set number 2. Another mishap there for the Bruins. It's a 3-point lead for the Lions. Bruins need a spark. And they get a 4-point lead for Paine right out of the gate, and you got to wonder when that timeout is coming for the Bruins. Sometimes as a coach, you want to let your team work through it. And other times you want to call that timeout and see what's going on. And a service error might be what the Bruins needed. They get their first point of the set. And it stops a 4-point run for Paine. Tip ball. Good win. Good dig that time. And it's going to be a nice placement that time. Madison Goldstrom sensing, again, in that first set, the Bruins had some difficulty at times getting around the blockers up front. And Goldstrom that time, instead of using power, it was more precision to just tap it over into the near corner. Tip ball, and a great job that time by Seals as she came up looking like she was going to really hammer home the kill and instead used kind of a change-up to hit the ball pretty softly, and that threw the blockers out of rhythm and allowed it to drop. Again, some uncharacteristic errors for the Bruins here in set number 2. And the Lions have built a 6-2 advantage. Blaylock, the senior, trying to give a spark to the Bruins. Vest serving it up, and Goodwin hammers it down. And I keep saying we need that spark. That might be it. And typically when you need that spark, you look to your players who have been key for you all season. Hannah Goodwin, certainly one of those. Bruins still trailing 6-3 here in set 2. They did take set 1, 25-15. And that's going to be out of play. Kayla Montoya back to serve. And it's Emily Lewis who gets the kill for the Bruins. Beto and Burke in for BJU. And Beto with the service error right off the bat. Again, the Bruins edging closer, and then some key errors at key times have allowed the Lions to keep their lead. 8-4 our score here in set number 2. And a service error right back by the Lions. So the Bruins will get the service back. Blocked at the net initially. Beto back across Estelle. Can't get it to go. Tapped over, and Lloyd keeping it alive, and again, Estelle trying to get it over the net, and unfortunately hit it right off of her teammate, Emily Lewis, right in the face. The official just making sure that Lewis is okay, and I think also making sure there's no blood. Man, I tell you, for those of you that have experienced it, there are few places on the human body that hurt more than getting hit in the nose with a ball. Because even if the initial pain is not that bad, your eyes will water for the next, 45 minutes. 10-5 our score here in set number 2. Lewis showing, hey, that ball to the face didn't really impact me much. She gets the kill there. Bruins still trailing by 4, 10-6. And that one's going to sail out of bounds. Again, the Bruins taking good plays and then kind of shooting themselves in the foot with some errors, either on service errors or Goodwin, cross-court kill, and that one finds its way in. Lions players disagreeing, but (11-8), Bruins edging closer. Fast back to serve once again. And bad set that time by Kelsey Williams. Lions not able to take advantage. Bruins now down by 2. And a good job by Goodwin that time. She's able to put down the point. 11-10 is our score. Vest on the serve. Tipped over, and Bruins some miscommunication once again. It's 12-10. Vest back across. Estelle trying to go back row. And it's going to be tipped. Players asking for some clarification. It looked like it was tipped to me as well. But it's Prater back to serve once again for the Bruins. Blaylock. And a good strike that time by Faith Blaylock. We're not at even at 12 apiece. It's taken a little bit for the Bruins to edge their way back into this set. Again, having to overcome some just uncharacteristic errors early on. And it's going to be a carry that time. That's a double hit. Oh, excuse me. They're going to call it a jump ball here. So we'll replay the point. And that time, Blaylock putting it down. And another point for the Bruins. And a timeout here. Bruins lead 14-12 here in set number 2. Stay with us. (14-12) our score here in set number 2. Bruins took set 1 25-15, and it was about this point in the first set where the Bruins really went on that 7-8 point run, in which they were able to pull away. We'll see if deja vu will happen once again. Vest back across. Blaylock. And again, some miscommunication and mishitting there from the Lions. The Bruins get the point out of the timeout. Oh, good placement that time by Prater. Seeing the hole and putting it right where it needed to be. Again, that is the prowess of a effective server is the ability to place it, and she did so right there. Lions come right back with a point, 16-13. Best serves it up for Blaylock. Good dig by the Lions to keep it alive. Best over to Goodwin. Again, great job on the back line by the Lions to keep it alive, and a kill by Jemiah Allen. Or Jemiah Seals, excuse me. Best. Blaylock answers right back. 17-14 now. Best. Blaylock right down the line, and it's going to be a point for the Lions as they say that was out of play. Blaylock again responding with a big kill is Faith Blaylock. She's come up with several just key plays for the Bruins in this second set. That one blocked at the net, and another point for the Lions as they refuse to back down. 18-16 now. Sub coming in. Make it 18-17 now. And now we're all knotted up. 18-18 here in the second set. And again, the Bruins with just some uncharacteristic errors here in set two. Coach Denny's seen enough. Timeout Bruins. 18-18 our score. We'll see how the Bruins can respond here. Conveniently located off of I-385, just 5 miles from downtown. The Courtyard Greenville Haywood Mall Hotel wants to give you 10% off the best available daily rate. Their on-site bistro serves Starbucks, breakfast, and dinner with a seasonal outdoor pool with a fire pit and grill available. You can learn more at Marriott.com. 18-18, set 2. Bruins look to be pulling away, and Paine College has come back to knot it up. We'll see which team can finish things off here in set 2. And again, Faith Blaylock in set 2 has been the player of the set for the Bruins. Just several times in set number 2 where she has had to kind of put the team on her back, and that was a moment right there. Be a free ball for the Bruins. Let's see what they can do with it. Vito outside. Estelle keeping it alive. Tip ball attempt, no go. Vito back to Estelle once again. Gets past the initial line and eventually finds its way to the hardwood. 20-18. So good response for the Bruins out of the timeout. That's served up and served down. Kyra McRae putting it down, and again, the Lions refusing to back down. Lewis, that one blocked at the net. But it goes out of play, and so the Bruins will have the 2-point cushion once again. Jamie Robinson now back to serve for BJU. Tapped over. Vito trying to go back corner with it. Near side. That one too strong, and it's going out of play. Bruins get the point, 22-19. Here in the second set. Burke, back corner kill. Bruins 2 points away from taking the second set, and we'll have a timeout by Paine College. Bruins have responded well out of their timeout. They hope to finish off set 2. They need 2 points to do it. Stay with us. (23-19). Is our score here in set number 2. Robinson back to serve for the Bruins once again. And the Lions coming out of the timeout with the point. And back to serve is Allen. Vito keeps it up. Blaylock. Free ball now for the Lions. Vito keeping it alive. Lloyd. Lloyd now keeping it alive. Blaylock back to Estelle. Beto. Estelle again, this time getting the proper form and proper positioning. Both of the previous strike attempts where she was kind of off balance and a little bit out of position. Bruins have set point, 24-20. Get the pinkies up, Bruins fans. See if they can finish things off here in set number 2. Vest back to serve. Short serve that time. Served up, and Goodwin not able to get the strike on it that she wanted. Free ball across. Lloyd over to Estelle. Too strong off the back line. And it's going to be 24-21. Still have set point. And a service error. That's how this second set will end. So the Bruins take the second one, 25-21. They take a 2-0 lead in the match. Can they finish the sweep? We'll switch sides and do it again. Stay with us. We're about to get underway for set number 3. Bruins hope they can complete the sweep on what has been kind of a weird afternoon for the Bruins volleyball team. The match was originally supposed to tip off at 2 o'clock, and a delay in the officials getting here by over an hour. And that is what has brought us to where we are right now. Bruins taking set 1, 25-15, and then narrowly taking set 2, 25-21. We'll see if they can finish off the sweep here. Lions doing a good job that time of staying with the Bruins throughout that second set. And again, the Bruins no doubt wanting to correct some of those mistakes going into set number 3 just several times. Some miscommunications, several service errors, so we'll see if they can correct that going into the final set here. Goodwin starts things off well for the Bruins as the sophomore hammers that one down. And an early point for the Bruins. It's Prater back to serve once again. This one right at the net, and Goodwin. That's just too easy for Hannah Goodwin as that one tipped up, and she put it right back down. It'll be a free ball for the Bruins. Vest back across Blaylock, but a good backline dig once again. It's something the Lions have done a great job with in this match so far. And Blaylock able to, Goldstrom able to send it down the line for the kill. Bruins jump out to the early 3-0 lead. And that one on the back line is down once again, so the Bruins jumping out to the early 4-0 lead. Have rode some of the momentum they gained in that second set to be able to jump out to even in further lead here in set 3, make it a 5-0 lead to start the third set. I wonder if we're going to get a timeout here as Paine College is dropped to 6-0 for the deficit to begin set 3. But good service by Haley Prater here to open things up for the Bruins in the third set. See if she can keep it going. And she will. Man, that's another ace. Make it a 7-0 lead. Blaylock trying to tip it over that blocking attack. Blaylock sending a free ball over. See what the Lions can do with it. Blocked at the net once again. Goldstrom and Goodwin make it 8-0 to start. And a great start for the Bruins here in the third set. They're eyeing that sweep. And another attack error by the Lions make it 9-0 to start. And a timeout for Paine. You wondered when that timeout was going to come. Again, as a coach, you just want to allow your players to try to work through it. But there's also a point where you got to call a timeout and try to make some adjustments. Bruins up 9-0 here in set number 3. Stay with us. Set number 3 underway, and the Bruins have everything going for them right now in this third set. 9-0 is our score. And it's been off of the serving touch of Haley Prater. She's done a great job and adds another ace. So again, right out of the timeout, Bruins extending their lead. It's now 10-0. Reminiscent going back a couple of weeks ago to the time the Bruins had something that I have actually never seen in person myself. And in talking to the coaching staff, even they have maybe seen it once or twice. The Bruins a couple of weeks ago had a set where they won the final set 25-0. And talking to Coach Jenny and all of her years of volleyball, she said it does not happen just because that, it's one of those things where not only do you have to be playing in sync as a team, but also that's no mistakes on your end. That's no service errors. That's nothing. Great job there by Ann Lloyd to keep it alive. And the Bruins are going to get the point, I think. No, a free ball coming across. I thought that was 4 hits. Blaylock. Good dig on the back line. Blocked at the net, and that's going to be another point. Make it 12-0 now here in the third set. Tip ball. Blaylock keeps it alive. Vest back across. Goldstrom. And that's going to be a point for the Lions. So the shutout will not happen here in set number 3 as the Lions get their first point of the set. 12-1 now is the score. Blaylock cross-court kill attempt is kept alive. Vest in the middle for Goodwin. And that's going to be out of play. Bruins get the point back, 13-1. They're hoping to wrap things up. And another point for the Bruins. Extending their lead 14-1 now. Blaylock. And a point for the Lions is a good job by Betts that time to send it down, but pretty big deficit for the Lions to have to try to overcome here. As it's McKeever back to serve. Lewis. And that one going to be dug, but the dig goes out of play. Good kill by the Lions. Maybe sparking some life here. Couple of subs coming in, Beto and Burke. And Beto back to serve for the Bruins. Montoya. Blaylock, that one blocked at the net. Lewis blocked again. Beto Back to Lewis, and Lewis says if you can't succeed, try again. And able to get it through the blocking line that time. It's now 16-3. And Chloe Lloyd seeing her first action of the contest here. That one too strong, so service error by Faith Blaylock. 16-4 our score. Sent down the line, Emily Lewis. Great strike that time. As Goodwin and Robinson now coming in for the Bruins, and Robinson will be taking the serve. Beto. Back across. Burke sending it down. Stephanie Burke, the freshman, edging the Bruins closer to the sweep. Robinson with the ace. Make it 19-4. And a timeout for Paine College. Bruins edging closer. They're just 6 points away from completing the sweep. Fans, be sure to check out the Bruins website for all the latest on your BJU Bruins. You'll be able to see results of the games, feature stories on players and coaches, and so much more. It's BJUBruins.com. Again, so much going on in Bruins land today. The cross-country teams competing in a meet this morning. The Bruins basketball teams tipping off the regular season today down in Columbia, South Carolina against Columbia College. Women's soccer is playing against Columbia International today. And, of course, the volleyball team in action as well. So you'll be able to see all the results of those games and contests at BJUBruins.com. Robinson on the serve. Just punched over that time. Beto back across to Burke and kept alive initially. And I think we had a collision on that far side, but thankfully everybody seems to be okay. Bruins 5 points away now, 20-4 in this third set. They jumped out to what was a 13-0 lead before the Lions were able to get their first point of the set. And that one served into the middle, and the point for the Lions. And that's going to be a point for the Lions as it hit off of the antenna. 20-6 now our score. Getting some clarification here from why the call was called the way that it was. And again, if you're wondering, a little volleyball knowledge for you, that instead of the coach shouting across the court towards a official, your captain or designated spokesman is the only person that can go over and talk to the official. And so a lot of times that captain will serve as kind of a middleman to go back and forth. Burke, that one struck a little too hard. It goes across the court and out of play. Make it 20-7. Lions hoping they can go on what would be an incredible run to keep this match alive. And the Bruins hoping to finish things off here in set number 3. Robinson, Beto. Back to Burke, and it goes down this time. Stephanie Burke with a couple of big kills here. The freshman making her presence known here in the third set. Vest back to serve now. Bruins 4 points away from completing the sweep. Back to Lloyd. Kept alive. Goodwin goes back row and gets the kill. Great ace that time by Vest, just 2 points away. And another ace. Match point, 24-7. Pinkies up, Bruin Nation. Bruins hoping to complete the sweep here, as Vest is back to serve once again. And that's going to be out. And that'll do it. Bruins able to overcome delays and some sloppy play at points, but they strung it together in that third set, jumping out to a 13-0 lead, and they would go on to win 25-7 in the third set, completing the sweep, 25-15, 25-21, and 25-27. That's going to do it for us on the broadcast. I'm Johnny Gammett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Next match coming up for the Bruins on Thursday. It's senior night as the Bruins take on Pfeiffer University. We'll be back at that time with our webcast on BJUBruins.com. But until then, I'm Johnny Gammett saying good night, God bless, and go Bruins.